We live.
All right, let's clap it up. Shalom, Israel. With the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we started out of 1 West, 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth with the so-called Black, Hispanic, North American Indians. We the real Jews that the Bible speaks of, yet the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Also, just to let y'all know, we are not affiliated with any Christian, Muslim, or Black Panther organization. None of them. Okay, we stand alone. Since 1969, we've been doing this. We've been putting in the work, doing the Lord's work alone. We don't need nobody else to be affiliated with in order to do the Lord's work. So I want to make that clear right now.
Right.
Shalom, Adawan. Let's give Commander General Yahanna one more hand. You know,
that's right.
Tonight we're gonna go in this Monday night history class. I'm preaching Officer 500, Ira Wadya, Washington D.C. zone. We're gonna go into a little bit of history tonight on how America used to treat and is currently treating our Mexican brothers and sisters, or in the scriptures. They are one of the 12 tribes of Israel, and they would be known as I.S.U.P.K, or in Hebrew, because we do speak Hebrew in here. Not that Yiddish trash, but I'm talking about real Hebrew, the Lashawan Kwadash, the holy tongue. I.S.U.P.K will be said as Yashaka. That's how you would say I.S.U.P.K. When you see I.S.U.P.K in the book of Genesis, where it first appears, you're going to see I.S.U.P.K, and then you're going to just know that we say in the Hebrew, Yashaka. That's how you would say that. So we're going to get in a little bit tonight about how America used to treat our brothers and sisters coming over the border. And some of them were already here because a portion of, out there in the West used to be Mexico. And how this country treated them so harsh, just like our Judite brothers and sisters, just like our Reubenite and Gadite brothers and sisters. We all got treated. We all got done real dirty in this place. So we're going to get in a little bit into how most people know, and they're aware of how, Judah was treated, Gad was treated, Reuben was treated as far as lynchings, and mostly our so-called Black brothers and sisters. The lynchings didn't stop there, though. They definitely went Midwest and the West. They definitely went out there. So we're going to get into a little bit of these, lynchings. If you know, follow along. If this is your first time hearing this, pay attention, tune in, just like you would tune into the white man's school system. You know what I'm saying? If you got a question or, a comment, if feel free to put it in the chat. You know what I'm saying? My other one right here, got Precinct Officer Pequasha right here, Officer of 1,000. I'm backing him up. He backing me up. We right here together.
Right.
So if we could, sir, we could just start off at number 1, please.
All right. No sweat, Salakia. Number 1, that's the law of the noose.
Cut one cut.
All right, let me get that real quick, Salakia.
Yeah,
law of the noose, Alabama Law Scholarly Commons. All right. Scroll down.
Salakia, sir. We can get it. We can scroll down and start at the 3rd paragraph in the 2nd section, where it say the numbers of African American lynchs.
Hold on 1 second. I don't see that.
My other one is getting, that paragraph. What America is doing, we can see clearly today all throughout the media. When you turn your news on, you can see some Latino brother or sister getting violated by ICE. You know what I'm saying? Or some Homeland Security, or whatever the federal agency may be in that area, because they all teaming up now. You always see a Latino brother and sister getting pulled out the car. You know what I'm saying? Kidnapped, taken away. Especially, the sisters, they get snatched away from their babies. Just last week, we got a brother from Ecuador. Now, he was over here illegal, so they say, and he ran. He was in the car with his 5-year-old son. He ran and left the boy in the car. So ICE, they was trying to say that ICE detained him, but they was then on the other hand they were saying that ICE was just standing there because he left a 5-year-old unattended, so they didn't want nothing to happen to the little boy. Plus it was real cold. This is up in Minneapolis, and he ran. Then they sat there with the little soldier, and I guess they waited for another family member to come get the little boy. But regardless, this is the hell that we in. Our people are running from federal agents because they over here. There's so many illegals over here that they not chasing out of here.
Right.
I've never seen, the Hindus, the East Indians run from ICE. I've barely seen, saying that the Africans, the Hamites run from ICE. Some of them do, but not much. Definitely not no white person of European descent. They are definitely not running. There's so many Ukrainians over here, all these Afghans that came over here, and definitely Asians. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know East Indians are Asians as well, but they not Moab and Ammon. They not Chinese and Japanese and, Koreans, and Filipinos and all them. They not them, but at the same time, the Chinese and Japanese, they not running as well. So that's how you know that they got it in for us. It's only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that's enduring this.
Right.
You got this, sir?
I got it.
Okay.
The number of African Americans lynched during the period in question were, of course, higher, around 3,400 to 5,000. But the Latino group in the United States was much smaller then, and the Mexican American group still smaller. So that the rate of lynching of the two groups was similar. As with blacks, Latino lynchings went on with the knowledge and in some cases active participation of Anglo law enforcement authorities, especially the Texas Rangers, some of whom seem to harbor a special animus towards persons of Mexican descent.
So the Texas Rangers was out for our I.S.U.P.K brothers and sisters. That's Mexicans for those who don't know. They had it out for them. When you bring in the U.S. military in to to deal with a people that means no harm to you. You know what I'm saying? This is how you know that the oppressor is the devil, that the Bible speaks of. Because if we was in power, we wouldn't treat them like they treat us, and which is going to happen. We're not going to, because they're going to be our slaves one day when Christ returns. But we don't treat them now. We never did, and we won't in the future. We don't treat them like they treat us. They don't even have it in them to even treat us in a civil way, in a real humanitarian way. They can't do it. It's not in them. You can go on, sir.
Moreover, the lynchings of Mexicans, like that of blacks, were often marked by hilarity and an atmosphere of righteous celebration or public spectacle.
They called it a righteous celebration. So you killing the Lord's people, and you say this is a right. They treated us as a spectacle and a righteous celebration. So I can just imagine, they come out there, they hear about the lynching. They got their bottles of, what I'm saying, what they call booze. They got their booze. They got their hats, the little stupid hats that they wear. All the it barely can speak, because we know all those rednecks in every back hole wooded area. Let's use West Virginia, because West Virginia literally has the stupidest people in the United States if you look up their literacy rate. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the dumbest white people that exist right here within the United States. I think their literacy rate is some of them don't even, it's between the 4th and the 8th grade as far as they as far as they can even comprehend. Like, we would go way over their head. We probably have to, degrade our intelligence down to an ABC 1, 2, 3 level, talking to people like that. You know, The Wrong Turn. For those who don't know, you know, if you ever heard of this movie called The Wrong Turn, that's the original version of The Hills Have Eyes. And everybody know what The Hills Have Eyes is.
Yeah.
Just think of that in the 70s. And it's called The Wrong Turn. It took place in West Virginia. And people are sick, you know. Well, I think we got one more sentence on this right here, sir.
Yes. Yeah, those conducting the events believed they were acting in full accord with community wishes and meeting out a type of informal justice. One historian even describes Anglo vigilantism towards Mexicans as a means of solidifying society and reinforcing civil virtue. As with black lynchings, the ringleaders would often mutilate the bodies of the victims and leave them on display in a practice of ritual torture and sadism.
So they just said that they would mutilate the body. You know, we all know the pictures, the horrific photographs that we've seen of a lot of our Judite brothers and sisters, and Reuben, because a lot of those lynchings took place in southern Georgia and northern Florida, and Reuben is definitely in those areas right there. I mean, they spread it out too, but right there is like the hub of where, you know what I'm saying, Reuben would be. And they were definitely lynched. And then they were muted. Most men who were hung, when you see a white towel around their waist, you know what I'm saying, their pants is down, or they might not even have no pants on, but you just look like they got a white apron on or something. You know, they've been castrated, you know. And it just said right here in this research that those Mexican men were mutilated, you know what I'm saying? And they were shot. You know, they were shot up too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of photos that they took away. I think they call them shadow photos or something. They have the photos right there, and they got the devils pointing, you know what I'm saying, guns at them. One of the devils had 2 pistols at him. Another one on the same side of him had one, and then there was another one all the way on the other side of the body, on the other side of the tree. They had pistols pointed at him, but they digitally removed the body itself, you know, so they wouldn't show it. So you know that they did their brother dirty, you know, just like Emmett Till. They said Emmett Till was just riddled with bullets, you know. Yeah, but so
you want me to keep going?
Yeah, cut him one cut.
All right, no sweat. Let's see where we at.
No, Salaki. You can start at we can go down to the last 2 paragraphs, sir.
On that page, okay. Carrigan writes that one.
Cut one cut. Yep.
All right. Carrigan writes that many lynchings began with a mob snatching a Mexican from the hands of the authorities.
No, la. No, we can go Salaki. We can go down the next one. Most lynchings of Latinos. Yeah. Most lynchings of Latinos.
I'm not seeing most lynchings. Okay, most lynchings of Latinos took place in the Southwest, especially in the states or territories of Texas, California, Arizona, and New Mexico, all of which had substantial Mexican or Mexican American populations.
See, this is the thing, you know, to the viewers out there. A lot of them states out there in the Southwest and the West, that literally belonged to Mexico. Like that was Mexico before the Mexican American War, which a lot of, you know, basically Mexico lost that. You know, they ceded land over. You know, as a matter of fact, we can drop this, sir. Okay. We can get it. If we can go to the if we can go to number 3. Number 3.
Number 3, the Treaty of Guadalupe and Hidalgo. All right, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, 1848. This treaty, signed on February 2nd, 1848, ended the war between the United States and Mexico. By its terms, Mexico seceded 55% of its territories, including the present-day states California, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, most of Arizona and Colorado, and parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Wyoming. Mexico also relinquished all claims to Texas and recognized the Rio Grande as a southern border with the United States. The Treaty of Hidalgo, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which brought an official end to the Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848, was signed on February 2nd, 1848, at Guadalupe Hidalgo, a city to which the Mexican government had fled with the advance of the U.S. forces.
Now,
With the,
so this treaty right here was put in effect because this is when Mexico lost the war between America and Mexico, of course. So, and they ceded, meaning they lost land, because they just couldn't fight America. And one, America, the military, they occupied Mexico City, and that was one reason why they just had to give up. They took their capital, so it's almost like, when you play chess, when you take the most important piece. They went in there, they took Mexico City, and due to that, they got Texas, they got California. I mean, they got most of the Southwest and the West, and that's why you have Mexicans that never left here. They never left the United States. They were still on this side. Some went over to the other side once that that fake border got established, and some stayed here, and they just they U.S. citizens, but at the same time they treated like trash. They were heavily discriminated against, just like Judites everywhere in this nation, just like Gad and Reuben and any more of our brothers that come over here. You know what I'm saying? They treat us the same way. But right here, we're dealing with I.S.U.P.K, the Mexican, so-called Mexicans. So, it's crazy, man. They was just overtaken. First they get invaded by the conquistadors. You know what I'm saying? And then you get, these British that basically took all, got most of this land, and then they take it over. I mean, it just don't stop with us, and a lot of it's, is because they know who we are, they know who we are, and they can't have a great nation without us being there. Like most of these buildings that get built today, not only in America, because they over in, what else are they? They over. You got a lot of Hispanic brothers and sisters that go around the world building, empires for these heathens. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're good with it, But we can keep going.
Keep going. All right.
I think I had
With the defeat of its army and the fall of the capital, Mexico City, in September 1847, the Mexican government surrendered to the United States and entered into negotiations to end the war. The peace talks were negotiated by Nicholas Tris, chief clerk of the State Department, who had accompanied General Winfield Scott as a diplomat and President Polk's representative. Tris and General Scott, after two previous unsuccessful attempts to negotiate a treaty with President Santa Anna.
Okay, so they failed in doing that. You know what I'm saying? But they eventually captured it. If we can just drop down, sir, and go second to last paragraph. We're gonna get both of those paragraphs, but I just want the second one right now. Is with the annexation. You about to see how much how much space and territory that the America had consumed and they got. They did this too because of what is that term called? manifest destiny.
Manifest destiny.
They that just by them winning the war like this, that manifest destiny just pushed on. It pushed on further for them to for them to even just wanting to send their people out there. Okay, go get what you want to get. You know what I'm saying? If you claim it, it's yours. So
Mm-hmm. Right. So it says, with the annexation of more than 525,000 square miles of land,
yeah.
the treaty.
So
Mm-hmm.
no, you guys.
Okay. With the annexation of more than 525,000 square miles of land, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo extended the boundaries of the United States west to the Pacific Ocean. This agreement, along with the 1853 Gadsden Purchase, created the southern border of the present-day United States. The U.S. government paid Mexico $15 million in consideration of the extension acquired by the boundaries of the United States, and agreed to pay American citizens debts owed to them by the Mexican government.
So this government paid $15 million for all that land, 525,000 square miles. That's a lot of land.
Yep.
That is a hell of a lot of land. I think LA is like 500 and something square miles. Times whatever to get 525,000. Like, damn. I mean, to acquire that much land through straight up bloodshed, and it wasn't like it was just like an agreement. This was through bloodshed. They went in there and they fought our brothers and sisters because they just want to conquer land, just like the white man. Everywhere he go, he has to just get what he get, and then once he get it, it's never enough. You know what I'm saying? He got to keep gobbling and gobbling. It ain't enough to take your land. It ain't enough to enslave you. It ain't even enough for him to just take your spirit away. He need more than that. His consumption, the level of his appetite to consume, who knows how far it goes. If he can just consume all air, you know what I'm saying? And then if you wanted to breathe, he'd just blow into the wind and like, okay, you can have that, like, who knows? But
right.
So like, we got a little bit left.
Yeah, all right, no sweat. This agreement, no, Slovakia. Other provisions included the protection of property and civil rights of Mexican nationals living within the new boundaries of the United States. The promise of the United States to police its boundaries and compulsory arbitration of future disputes between the two countries.
Okay, that's it, sir. So the agreement, the United States, they will police the borders. Now, the border patrol, they do police the borders, but at the same time, they don't do it everywhere. That's a big border. The border is extensive. You go from Texas all the way to California, all the way to bottom of San Diego.
Yeah.
And that's over 1,000 miles. You know what I'm saying? So they do police it, but at the same time, it's easy because there's videos out there where they have, just regular YouTubers. They didn't went down on the border and they just filming it in live raw footage. How people is just literally because some portion of the wall is broke. You know what I'm saying? And then they might have fixed it now that Trump is back in here. I don't know, but I doubt it. But there's portions of that wall is just straight up broke, and people just literally walking right over. Some of them tear their passports up, and they throw that. They just leave it in the desert because when they go to a processing center, they get a new name if they want a new name. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They want a new name. Everything is wiped clean. And from what I heard, the Chinese who come over here illegally, they don't even go everywhere because most people go to the processing center and and then they send them somewhere else. But they say a lot of the immigrants, they say that they there when they first get over here, they all together, and then when they going into to another facility, all the Asian people, they leave, they gone, they take them somewhere else. I don't know what's going on, but you know, they got a Chinatown in almost every major city, so they might be going straight to them, you know. And it's white Christians out there that like to recruit some of our brothers and sisters who coming over here because they leave water out for them. It's certain, they got instructions where to go. You know, they not just wandering, you know what I'm saying, cluelessly throughout the desert. They have water now because it's a Catholic organization. I forgot the name of them, but it's a Catholic organization that set up a lot of checkpoints. They got a bunch of water, blankets, you know, snacks for them to eat. And this is just before they go to processing centers. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you already know with the business of the Catholic Church, what type of business they into doing. You know, touching people, you know, the wrong way, touching children's no parts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like it, sir. If we can get some of those photos, you know, you know what I'm saying? Israel is real. You know what I'm saying? You've seen the photos, you know what I'm saying, of our brothers and sisters, our Judite brothers and sisters over here, you know, being lynched from trees. Can I say that word? Can I say lynched?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. I believe so, yeah.
Come.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get this up here.
And just before that, you know, I'm going to pull the scripture, sir, while you getting that. I'm going to pull Psalms 55 and 21. I can read, sir.
Okay.
This is the book of Psalms 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So, you know, you're dealing with the white man, okay? His words is smoother than butter. He comes off, you know, very flattering, you know, very trustworthy, like to comfort you, like you don't have anything to worry about. Like this guy is not a threat. You know what I'm saying? Like, look how he's talking to us. He's welcoming us in to whatever he got going on, you know. So and reading on, it say, but war was in his heart. Okay, his words are smoother than butter. He's acting like he's all about peace and he's innocent, just like that crazy depiction of Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia was a straight up unaliver. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he had words smooth like butter as well, just like a lot of, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these devils do. You know what I'm saying? But war was in his heart. Your heart is your mind. It's not the actual muscle right here in your chest. Your heart is your mind. You know what I'm saying? The ideas that's going on. But at the same time, he's talking to you so, you know, eloquently and nice, but yet he's thinking of something else. You know, he's thinking of deceit is in his heart. You know what I'm saying? Like he has an agenda and a plan going on. And reading on, and it says his words were softer than oil. You know, once again, you know, goes back to, you know what I'm saying, his words, you know, is soft, you know, but that oil, you know, there's soft oil. Oil is very light, you know, and it's deceit and betrayal. You know what I'm saying? His words is all about deceit and betrayal. And yet, reading on, yet were they drawn swords. Yet all of these nice things, these fake nice things that he's telling you, you know what I'm saying, with the deceit that he have in him naturally, you know what I'm saying, behind all of that is deception. And he got swords, you know what I'm saying? He wants to cut you.
Right.
That's all he want to do is game you up, you know, if we can put it in that sense. You know, he just trying to game you up, and then after all that, he just looking to cut you. You know what I'm saying? You know, like you'll use a weapon in battle or war. He's just trying to cut you. So never trust Esau, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Salaki, we can go to see. So we got the photo right here. This is the first one right here. So these are three Issacharite brothers right here. Now that one right there with his back turned, with the light colored jacket. Well, I guess because it's black and white, but
Uh-huh.
it looked like his legs is drenched with blood, and I don't know if his pants is down or is his pants down?
I don't think so.
They not. So that must be like a pail or a bucket or something. I don't know, but it looked like his legs is drenched. It's just, something just don't look right. I mean, of course, it
Yeah.
don't look right because he hanging from a tree.
Actually, yeah, I think, yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at it. It looked like his pants is like right around here.
Right. So more than likely, this brother right here has been castrated.
Yeah.
Because when we remember, back at I'm saying in the article we were saying that they just like they did our black brothers and sisters, they cut body parts off and they use them or they keep them as souvenirs, like walking past through stores in the South, you could see male genitalia, you know what I'm saying? Just they made objects, what I'm saying, out of skin, the coverings of books, shoes, belts, what I'm saying? They use the children of the Most High skin to get them a purse or a bag or some shoes or a belt. I mean, that's sickening right there. That's
Yeah.
how you know if a man is willing to do that, he'll definitely eat you, like literally eat your flesh. He will cannibalize. You know what I'm saying? You. Can we go to the next photo, sir?
Yeah.
B. That was A, so we can go to B. And this is ridiculous, man. These are the things that our people. This is, and you still go vote, and you still put your trust in this white man, this beast. You know what I'm saying? Esau is the most subtle beast in the field, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He's very crafty with his deception and how to deal with us because he studied us. He studied. He's still doing his studies right now. That's why he's always he has to keep doing what he do just to stay in power, even though his power is going to get taken away from him. You know what I'm saying? Once our King Christ come back, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
With those 200 million angels in those chariots and crack these skies, and the people going to just be it all. Some people might just drop dead because of the sight of what's going on, But here we go with photo B. So these are two other. Now you can clearly see this brother pants down right here. I keep making that a point because this is for our children out there, for the little ones out there. Y'all need to see this. This is graphic, but at the same time, this is what your school is not teaching you, and you need to know this. Because this right here is part of Black history, it's part of Hispanic history, and it's part of Native American history. And by you seeing this, you can know who who the people that around you is. When you see
Right.
white people, now we don't condone no violence. You know what I'm saying? Do not go out there and commit violence against anybody of any race. You know what I'm saying? You do have the right to defend yourself. You have the constitutional right to defend yourself if you are being attacked, but never go out there and just pick a fight. You know what I'm saying? But the people who did this to us, do not forgive them. Do not listen to your grandmother that sit up in that stupid Christian church. You know what I'm saying? Do not listen to her. These people are your enemies.
Right.
They always have been your enemies, and it won't stop. You know what I'm saying? They took this brother pants down right here. Clearly see that, and they mutilated him. They mutilated him, meaning they cut his genitalia off. They cut his private parts off. So for the kids out there, he will never be able to. He can't go to the bathroom because the brother is unalive. But when you do that, you know what I'm saying? You taking away somebody's ability to even use the bathroom properly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we can go to photo C.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but this right here, this is what America has done to the children of Israel, preferably our Issacharite brothers and sisters, our Mexican brothers and sisters. Now,
Yep.
these two brothers right here, they were committed of a crime, okay, and they still don't know if they really did it or not. But this brother right here on the right hand side is on my right. So the brother with the light colored pants on, I don't know if that's the one, but one of these brothers is a Gadite. It's a Mexican and it's a North American Indian brother. But regardless, they both was, you see how they ended up. You know what I'm saying? They went to the jail, broke them out of, they overpowered the police, of course. You know the police is in on it anyway. They
Right.
overpowered them. They didn't let the judge do nothing. They went there, they got them, they drug them out. The same story. This is nothing new, people. This is nothing new. They drugged these two brothers out, took them somewhere, hung them up. They mutilated them too. They did mutilate them too as well. And they lynched them. They lynched them. You know what I'm saying? And this right here, they've been doing this since the 1800s to our Mexican brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Like, if I could, you bringing out, heavy points. Like, what kind of people, if you're gonna, if you're gonna activate the life subscription or cancel the life subscription and whatnot, why are you gonna go ahead and mutilate them and castrate them? What kind of man or what kind of being would go and cut somebody else's man parts off?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why in the world would you want to do that?
Right.
These people are not a people at all.
Right. You know, Esau, he like my Gadite brother, he speaks with a forked tongue. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's smoother than butter, softer than oil. You know what I'm saying? That's his way. That's how he be making his way through. And then yet alone, like what? Why are you grabbing grown men rods, man? You know what I'm saying? Like that's another thing. You grabbing rods to slice them off and keep them. Like that's how you know Esau is the biggest deviant on the planet, man.
On the planet, right?
He's a total beast. Even sometimes when I see those videos of those Hamites over there, the ones that live in the jungle, you know what I'm saying? They'll bring back to their little area where they live at. It doesn't even matter where they live at. I guess they live anywhere at the drop of a dime in the jungle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they bring back a dead baboon or a dead whatever, but meerkat. It doesn't even matter. But just use the baboon for right now. Who wants to eat a baboon? You know what I'm saying? Like they put the baboon right over the fire, let it roast, I guess to their liking, and then they just start eating the face. You know what I'm saying? They eat baboon faces like it's chicken. You know what I'm saying? So they are disgusting, man. But that ain't got nothing on the white man. You know what I'm saying? The white man grab your rod, slice it off, put it in the jar. They used to throw it in the crowd where the white girls would sit there and fight over it. Because they used to, literally thousands of people used to show up to black and Mexican lynchings.
That's right.
Like I guess it was the theater of its time. You know what I'm saying? Before the screens came out. I'm not sure when the screens, you actually sit down and watch a film. But this right here, this was the theater and the entertainment, you know what I'm saying, to its highest level at that point in time. I guess anything worse than this would probably be just all out, just being in the war. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever they went to go, and commit a raid like ICE do on one of the Gadite tribes. You know what I'm saying? Wherever they zone was at that point in time, they that's what ICE do right today, just like the United States Cavalry did to the Gadites, the Reubenites. You know what I'm saying? And to our Mexican brothers and sisters, that's what they do. They just raid. They constantly in a raid mode. You know? They are actually the roaches, though. They are the white roaches, and the white roaches actually exist. You know what I'm saying? We need to spray on them, and not guns neither. Not guns. I'm using this as metaphorically, people. You know what I'm saying? But these lynchings, they don't stop, man. And still to this day, brothers down in Mississippi and certain states down in there in the South, they still being hung. Like I don't even think it go more than 3 to 4 months where it's another case of another brother being lynched. And they always use the same story. Oh, he committed suicide. You know what I'm saying? So I guess the brother just throwing the rope over the tree or however he do it. You know what I'm saying? He was like, well, let me put my Let me put my whole head in the noose and let me get up out of here. You know.
Yeah.
No, it's never no foul play. As much as white people hate our people, no white person has ever touched none of these brothers today that's being hung. I remember doing the George Floyd riots. A brother was found hung in out there outside of L.A. You know what I'm saying? Off of a tree. I think it might have been right in L.A. or it might have been Riverside, somewhere out there, but it's close. You know, like in L.A. County or Orange County, like when the George Floyd riots was going on. Man, how you just end up on a tree in Cali? You know what I'm saying? Damn. Like, and they said he did it himself. They said he committed suicide. So the police didn't do it. No white person did it. Oh man. It goes down in America, man. Which man, it goes down. I'm gonna just say that. But if we can get as a matter of fact, we can get the article. So it's the article right below that, right below the third photo. We can read a little bit about these two brothers right here.
Nice. Like,
this is ridiculous, man. You know,
all right. Santa Cruz's most notorious lynching.
Wisconsin.
All right, Santa. Okay, and this is about this this photo with the two brothers right here.
Wisconsin. They call it that the lynching at the Watergate Bridge. I mean, that's what they call it.
Santa Cruz's most notorious lynching. Hold on, Slovakia. Let me just do this. All right. By the time the sun rose on Thursday morning, May 3rd, 1877, the two bodies dangling from what was then known as the Upper or Water Street Bridge was already stiff with rigor mortis. A large crowd had gathered on the banks of the San Lorenzo River and down onto a sandbar to gape on the hanging corpses, victims of an angry lynch mob the night before. It was well into mid-morning before the bodies were finally removed. The remaining spectators, including children, called out bids for pieces of the death ropes, which had been sliced into foot-long sections as souvenirs.
Hold up, Salakia. So they had debate. So they had their little babies out there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Bidding. You know, like you go to an auction or something. They had their children out there bidding on the cut up pieces of rope that these two brothers were hung from. I mean, how sick is that? You know, we could never fathom something like that. We would never show up to a public execution. You know what I'm saying? Of this magnitude. Like this is sick. And
right.
for our people out there, you know what I'm saying, you blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, the white man ain't the only person that do this neither, because you got those Arabs out there in the desert. They put people to death all the time publicly. You know what I'm saying? Like they have they are just beasts. You know what I'm saying? Like they could care less who sees it or who goes back and, you know what I'm saying, let everybody else know. Like, we would never commit these type of atrocities. You know what I'm saying? We have our own problems, yes, and we're gonna get dealt with, you know what I'm saying, with the Most High. We've been getting dealt with for a long time,
right?
But our time is coming. You know what I'm saying? Almost at an end to be further tortured in this place. You know what I'm saying? That's why we always advocate you come into this school. You know what I'm saying? Under Commander General Yahanna, who have taught all of us. You know what I'm saying? Start get back to your culture. Follow these laws, follow these statutes, follow these commandments. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to take orders. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody take orders on this planet to some extent. You know what I'm saying? You keep going, sir.
Absolutely. Judge Lynch had evidently been holding court. The Santa Cruz Sentinel observed in the aftermath, but who the judge, jury, or attorneys were was purely a matter of conjecture. The bodies of the two men, Francisco Arrayas and Jose Chamales, were taken to a local undertaker where 5 Santa Cruzans were impaneled as an impromptu coroner's jury. Their verdict was predictable. The deceased met their end on the upper San Lorenzo Bridge at the hands of parties unknown.
Of course. You know what I'm saying? Parties unknown, just like today. Just like I was just speaking about the brothers, like today in modern times. I'm talking about 2021. When was the Floyd riots? 21 or no 20? Right? 2020.
It's
I
man,
think it
it
was
was
last year.
20,
Trump of his first term. Yeah, 2020. Like since 2020, brothers. I'm sure it's been over 10 lynchings. You know what I'm saying? I might be lowballing. It might be way more than that. You know?
Bro, yeah.
Yeah. Because not only do you have to physically, you know what I'm saying, be put in the noose, but just like our brother out there in Minneapolis. Minneapolis is real hot in the news right there, right now.
Right.
Philando Castile, you know what I'm saying? When he literally verbally said every move that he was going to make and still got, you know what I'm saying, underlined.
Yeah.
That was a lynching. You know what I'm saying? Eric Gardner, you know what I'm saying? That was a lynching. George Floyd, that was a lynching. What's the sister out there in Memphis? When they ran up in the house, they just shot everywhere. She died in her sleep. Never got a chance to, her and her husband. He got shot up too, I believe. Or I know he was shooting back at the authorities.
Yeah, he was shooting back.
But the name right now. But that sister got lynched in her sleep. Fred Hampton. You know what I'm saying? Even Fred Hampton back then, 21 years old. Trying to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? May unalive him. You know what I'm saying? That was a lynching. You don't have to physically be in the rope to actually be lynched by your oppressor.
Right.
So keep going.
All right. So the bodies of the two men, Francisco Arrayas and Jose Chamales, an emphasis added. It was later speculated that at least one member of the jury had been a party of the lynch mob that hung the two men.
Wow.
Arrayas and Chamales, their names were spelled in several different ways by various publications, were Californios, Spanish speakers of Mexican and Native American descent. Though they were referred to in the journals of their day as half-breeds or Indians, and both were natives of the region. Arrayas, 35, had been born in Pascadero, while Chamales, 21, had been born in Branaforte, the secular villa of Spanish California, located roughly half-mile east up Walter Street from where the hanging had been taking place.
So they said half breeds. We priests and prophets in the UPK. We don't say half breeds. We don't say mixed. Whatever your father is, that's what you are. Your father determines the nationality of who you are. You come from the seed of your pops, so that's what you are. So we're not half breeds. We don't believe in that. Like just like most of our people think that I use Bob Marley. Bob Marley is not a brother for the brothers out there that do indulge in Rastafarianism. You know what I'm saying? Or you just you admired Bob Marley. Well, hey, if you like his music, you like his music. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. But just know that Bob Marley is not a brother. His father is a white man, and that's what he is. And all of his sons are white men.
Right.
So if you like Stephen Marley and Damian Marley, well, you listening to white boys as well. Now, if you want, like again, you can listen to whatever you want to listen to. It's not a crime. You know what I'm saying? To listen to whatever music you like. But those are not our people. So do not go around spreading that Bob Marley is a brother. No, he's not. I don't care what his hair looked like or his skin complexion. You know what I'm saying? Just like You know what I'm saying? If you was to put his face next to his family on his father's side, he looks like them. You know what I'm saying? He looks just like them. He just, and like those children that look like him, they are the real blackface. They don't even have to put nothing on their face. You know what I'm saying? That is, they are blackface in real life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They can definitely trick somebody. They can play that card all day. You know what I'm saying? But there's no such thing as mixed and half-breed people. You know what I'm saying? You don't. I always like to use the analogy. Do raccoons or do rats live in possum bellies? You know what I'm saying? No. Have you ever met two people in one body? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, there's no such thing as half-breeds, man. That's fake. Stop listening to the devil, man. Listen to the I.S.U.P.K. We're the only ones on earth that got all the answers that you need. You know and I mean all of them. You know what I'm saying? Everything you ever wanted to know as an Israelite, Native American, Hispanic, or black man and woman. All the answers, all the questions that you have ever asked yourself or anybody, and they wasn't able to answer it, it can get answered in here because our history and everything that we need to know throughout government, food, cleanliness, everything is right there in those scriptures, man. Believe that. You know
Fiery Furnace Finish said it was Brown and Taylor. That was his sister's name.
Breonna Taylor. Thank you. Was it Fiery Furnace?
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
And Chavez Unlimited Office said Lenny Kravitz is a white dude. Too.
Exactly. Yes, he is. Lenny Kravitz is a white man. Thank you for that too, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. The water. We say the water. That means thank you. You know what I'm saying?
You want to keep going?
You can drop down and go. Let me see. You can read a little bit more, sir.
All right. Let's see. I just want to point out, it showed that these two brothers were lynched in their own neighborhoods. It was a half mile from where they lived. That's their own neighborhoods. Right. So they came into their own neighborhoods and then got lynched in their own neighborhood.
They got drugged out the courthouse, out the jail, and taken back to where they live at. You're right. That's like somebody coming to get you out your house and just take you a couple of blocks down. It's like, all right, now unalive him right here. You know what I'm saying? I want it done right here. Don't go far. Do it right here in his neighborhood so all of his people can see it. You know, that's another.
Shalom.
That's another thing. That's what they do. They all like they say, we become a spectacle in death. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because they leave us hanging. I'm sure it's to them, to devil eyes, it's a wonder to see. Look at the niggas and the savages and the spicks just hanging, just swinging back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I mean, kids play with toys where they just swing things around. You know, imagine if they just see human bodies just bleeding to death, mutilated. You know what I'm saying? Pants down. That's another. You know what I'm saying? Disrespect. You know. You know the saying. You know, don't get caught with your pants down, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Die on your own 2 feet. Nah, we had to die suspended in the air with a rope around our neck because of the devil. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can get a little bit more, sir.
No sweat. Let's see. This was not the first lynching in Santa Cruz of California. As early as July of 1852, vigilantes had hung a notorious horse thief here named Mariano Hernandez from a makeshift gallows. Witnesses reported that Hernandez had frequently boasted of killing and robbing Americans. He had also stolen from his own people, and according to various accounts, the vigilantes included other Californios who were victims of Hernandez and his gang of bandits.
Okay, so that's what they say, right? But that the white man has always accused us of doing crime, especially his woman, that devil woman. You know what I'm saying? She will always, bring a brother in, you know what I'm saying, so she can sex him up, you know what I'm saying? And then cry rape. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Salakia, and then cry bodily harm to her. You know what I'm saying? But of course, that was intentional. You know what I'm saying? She wanted that.
Right.
And who knows if these devils didn't accuse this brother right here of doing the thievery that they're accusing him of, because it could have just been a white man actually, you know what I'm saying, doing these crimes, but yet they just put it on a brother that they didn't like and it's probably known, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then of course he get put to death, you know, on a makeshift gallows. You know, that's what the J6ers, it all got pardoned, you know what I'm saying, by white people's great hope, Trump, you know what I'm saying, Orange Man Trump, Orange Orangutan Trump. You know, his followers, you know, the J6ers, they made a gallows for then Vice President Mike Pence. They wanted to hang Mike Pence because they felt that he was a traitor against Trump and them, you know, on January 6, 2021.
Right.
It didn't happen, you know what I'm saying? But would have it happened? I'm sure it would have, because that's how beastly they were. If you go in there and defecate on Nancy Pelosi's desk, what won't you do? You know what I'm saying? And then you bring out real, you know what I'm saying, unclassified documents, or however that go, you know. I know he brought out some important paperwork, you know, and he was showing it, you know. The little young white boy that's all over the news now that exposed Minnesota's fraud, Nick Shirley.
Mm-hmm.
He was there. I just found out he was there. I seen him filming himself, watching everybody go up in there.
Wow.
He was there. I never knew that until recently. And he filmed that man that was the one that defecated on Nancy Pelosi's desk, that older guy that they keep showing. He was sitting at her desk. When you see the video,
He was there.
he was there. He was the one. He interviewed him after he came out the Capitol with papers that he stole from her office.
Wow.
Yeah, of course, he got pardoned as well. You know, everybody got pardoned. All the J6s got pardoned. So, you know, we just read just a little. Let me see. Still out here. Bear with me, Israel. We just, you know what I'm saying, we just getting a little bit more of this information out here. We're gonna shine light to the truth, you know, because what has taken place throughout our with our Mexican brothers and sisters is just horrific. You know, it's an atrocity that happened right here on the landmass of the divided states of America.
Right.
These are divided states. You know, these people are against each other, and now you are seeing white on white crime. You know, why isn't why y'all need to do something about that, man? You know what I'm saying? Y'all, it's too much white on white crime out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they like to say that about us. You know what I'm saying? Black on black crime. You know, Hispanics against the blacks, Hispanics against Hispanics. We're not out here gathered up. You know what I'm saying? In a federal agency such as ICE, and we going out here and kidnapping people. We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, we got our own problems that we're gonna have to work out. We got to answer to the Most High, not you. You know what I'm saying? That's why we encourage brothers and sisters, stop doing what you're doing and get in this body of truth. You know what I'm saying? If you're a young man out there, get in all black, man. I'm telling you, it will save your life. A lot of brothers in the UPK and sisters in the UPK, we were once in the world. We know what it's like. So we're not speaking from no experience. We have experience on the horrors, you know what I'm saying, that this place can produce. You know what I'm saying? Because we're a product of that. But not anymore. You know what I'm saying? Not anymore. Put the cigarettes and the blunts down, man. I'm telling you.
Right.
You got anything to say, sir?
No.
Okay. Salakia, we can come up off that, Salakia, and it's just I want to go to number 5, sir.
Number 5, all right.
Number 5.
Massacre of Border Rage, a history of racial violence in the RVG, Rio Grande Valley.
Salakia, sir, if you can show that, you can scroll down, and you can it's a marker. the historical marker. If you scroll down, you'll see that this big historical marker. You can put that up so the people can see that.
Montanza
Color
of all right, yeah.
1915. So this right here, this is the massacre, of border rage. This was a massacre that happened in 1915, where the devil, the white man, he had to unalive so many of our people. They even made a historic. This is the historical marker right here. Yes, that's it right there. You can just read a little bit of this, sir.
No sweat. Montanza of 1915. In the late 19th and early 20th century, racial tensions near the United States-Mexico border and the lower Rio Grande Valley erupted into violence. The change from ranching to commercial agriculture and a shift in racial hierarchies led to increased discrimination against Mexican Americans and Mexicans in the region. In addition, economic problems and the Mexican Revolution increased the immigration population to Texas.
Salaki, if I could. So a lot of what we're presenting today is because of that Mexican American war. After that war, the brothers, the I.S.U.P.K brothers that stayed over on the U.S. side, and the ones that were, coming over as well. But mainly the ones right now, what I'm speaking on is the I.S.U.P.K brothers, the Mexican brothers that stayed on the United States side, because they had a choice whether if they wanted to go to Mexico after the U.S. basically got the land. They had a choice. You could stay here, and become a U.S. citizen, or you can go to Mexico and work it out how you want to do it there. So the ones that did stay here, they were discriminated against so much, man, as if they never was here. Just like Judah went through the discrimination, you know what I'm saying? Just like Gad and Reuben went through the discrimination that, on this land. It was no different from our Mexican brothers and sisters. And this is what school is not going to teach you. I guarantee you, your school teacher is not going to tell you these things. They want to do away with Black history in a lot of places, especially in Florida. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they ever told it the proper way anyway. Because you could never get a devil to tell you your history. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, these brothers right here was so discriminated against that they just had to get the final solution, just unalive them. You know what I'm saying? Just off them. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Yeah.
Keep going.
No sweat. In addition, it's like this influx along with the rise in Anglo immigration to South Texas increased racial tensions. Law enforcement and vigilante groups use violence and intimidation to quell and at times respond to a growing movement referred to as Revolution de Texas. Some Mexicans and Mexican Americans envisioned this movement as a fight against discrimination, while some in law enforcement perceived it as a threat to new Anglo migration in the area.
So they wanted to fight against discrimination, but law enforcement seen it as a threat. I guarantee you, these brothers was not thinking about, unaliving these devils. You know what I'm saying? You know how we come together as Israel, man. When we feeling discriminated against, we always get signs when we walk down the street. You're not marching. For those brothers out there, sisters out there who think that y'all marching, no. Soldiers march. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Real warriors march. You are just taking a walk down the street. You know what I'm saying? With a sign in your hand. You're not a warrior. You can become a warrior. Don't get me wrong, but you have to be trained for those type of things. But you just, you feel discriminated against, just like in, Martin Luther King's, I can't say what I really want to call him, but you know what I call him, Luther. Such and such. You know what I'm saying? You can't do what he do and expect to get you can't go to your oppressor who oppressed you and put you in that position, and now you think he's gonna save you and bring you up out of that same condition? Not at all, people. Not at all, man. We can keep going, sir.
No sweat. Where'd I leave off of?
We was at
the section of highway between San Benito and Brownsville was a site of countless killings of prisoners without due process. It sounds like something's going on right now.
right, right. I mean, what you got? What you said without due process, right?
Uh-huh.
Look at Alligator Alcatraz. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They just snatch brothers up and just take them to the swamp. You know, take them right there in the Everglades where the conditions are horrible. They don't have no real rooftops, you know, because it's like a big tent. So when it rains, they said they was just raining everywhere, and the mosquitoes is just in the millions. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Toilets not working. They have to literally drink their drinking water out of the toilet. They only had 2 toilets. It's about 12 to 13 brothers in one because they got cages inside these big tents. So in one cage, it's like 12 to 13 brothers in there, and they all got to use this, 2 toilets, and they have to drink the toilet water. They don't get clean water in there. They don't even talk about Alligator Alcatraz no more, neither. That's the funny thing. They said most of them are already deported out of there. I don't believe that because they constantly kidnapping people. So I know they still taking them there. We go through so much pain in this place. They can talk about it for 3 weeks straight and then never mention it again, and neither will you. You know what I'm saying? But we don't forget in here. We don't forget in the UPK. We know what's taking place with our brothers and sisters on this landmass and abroad, man. We do not forget them, and we never will. That's why we always call out the victims' names, like we did earlier. Brianna, you know what I'm saying? Philando, Eric Gardner, you know what I'm saying? George Floyd, and millions more before we was even born. You know what I'm saying? And there's no ending to this, man. We could probably literally go on for a year without stop talking and keep naming victims that have died, you know what I'm saying, that's on record. The devil keeps meticulous records. So, we can keep going, but
Yeah, it's like if I could, the devil keeps meticulous records, but they are so in a fervor of trying to make America great. Have you heard about that that jewel thief that got deported?
The jewel thief.
So it was this dude. He robbed a Brinks truck and robbed the Brinks truck, and it had it's worth about $100 million of jewels. He robbed it, right? Got caught. Was sent to go to trial. They ICE raided him. He got sent to a detention center and got deported. So when it came time for his trial to be up, they went to go see where he was. They was like, well, ICE got him and they deported him without talking to each other, saying, hey, this dude was on trial. He has $100 million worth of jewels,
right?
And we can't recover it. So that stuff is long gone now.
I mean,
all because of without due process.
Right. Like how is ICE? I thought they was just set up to go capture, you know what I'm saying, the person. But they said ICE deported him?
ICE deported him, yeah.
So now ICE got the power. They go get you and they physically see that you get up out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So basically, this massacre right here that took place, man, this was just, it was crazy, It's a good thing that they made that known, though. You know what I'm saying? This is all way back in 1915. You know what I'm saying? That's what?
111 years, yeah.
11 years. 111 years ago, man. 1915. My great grandfather was born in 1904, And my great grandmother, she was born in 1920, I believe. And this was right in the middle of that. Like, damn, and this is going on down. It's always been war at the border ever since that Mexican American, ever since the devil came over here, man.
Yep.
And his whole agenda was because he want to further push out west. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's why they got that. What's that in the Marines? Their song from sea to sea.
From sea to sea to shining.
Right, sea to shining. They talking about the Atlantic and the Pacific. Like they have conquered this land abusively. You know what I'm saying? Like everywhere they go, they unalived all those Tasmanians over there in Australia. They did that, man. They everywhere that the beast go, he gobbles and consumes. That's
Right.
all he do. He gobbles and consumes. But that's not enough for him. He has to do more. You know what I'm saying? Like I brought out that, you know, the little silly example earlier. If he owned the air, you know what I'm saying? Say if he had all the air within his body and he could blow it out. Okay, you can get that. Now give me such and such for that. You know? Like it's crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but you know,
no, it's not crazy.
You know,
it's not crazy. It's like if I could, I seen a story, and I've heard this before other times. This guy set up like a water collection system on his property, and the city or the town sued him, and he lost in court, saying that he claimed it was a natural resource, and they was like, well, this is, you know, our land, even though he collected on his property. Right. He says you can't you're taken away from everybody's, like, you know, resources. so they sued him, and I forget how much he owed the city, but he got arrested, he got sued, and they forced him to take down the water collection system on his property.
Wow.
Yeah, just so when you was joking about the air, but nah, if they can come up with something with the air, they're gonna do it, because they're doing it with the water. Something as free as the water, they're doing it with the water, and they would do it with anything else, all the natural resources.
I think that's about the only thing they ain't charging us for, right? Is air. Like I don't know, like literally the air outside, you know. Like, of course they charge you for air conditioner, you know what I'm saying? But air outside, like I want to go outside and breathe, I gotta pay. You know what I'm saying? If he could do that, he would get it like that. You know, that's crazy. Yeah, you can drop that, sir. Can I get a scripture?
Absolutely.
Let me get the book of Lamentations 4:18.
Lamentations 4:18.
Come.
So yeah, give me a second.
So our people, we got to know that, you know, this is not our place of rest at all. This is not our place of rest. Do not get comfortable in this place we call America. You know what I'm saying? And for all you you don't want to be a part of something like you got, just like you got all those FBAs out there. You know, same thing exists with a lot of our brothers and sisters thinking that every black person over here is Native American as well. So they got two things going on. You got the FBAs that don't claim nobody else. It's just straight up. If your people's from here, if you were descendant of slavery on this land, you know what I'm saying? They dismiss our Benjamite and our Levite brothers and sisters. But they will say, they will actually use the term brother or sister to a West African, not Israelite brother or sister over there, because I know we still got people over there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about a straight up Hamite. They would refer to them. Somebody like, this was his name, Godfrey. You know what I'm saying? Or Gilly the Kid from the dude from Philly. Now he's Ethiopian. He's Eritrean, but you know, they all Ethiopians. You know what I'm saying? Gilly the Kid is not a brother as well. You know, Nipsey Hussle wasn't a brother. You know, they will refer to them as a brother, but at the same time, totally dismiss our Benjamite brothers and sisters and Levite brothers and sisters and Central and South American brothers and sisters. Totally dismiss them, and Gadites. You know what I'm saying? They would dismiss them. You know what I'm saying? It's sickening, man. It's sickening.
It is.
Yeah, we are doing Lamentations 4:18.
It's Lamentations chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets.
They hunt our steps. You know what I'm saying? ICE is hunting I.S.U.P.K steps right now as we speak. We've been doing it for a minute now. It's been going on too long now, man. But at the same time, that's why we putting in this work, because we can't just sit back and wait on Christ to return. We have to put in the work. We have to make our King want to come back for something. You know what I'm saying? Are we worth even coming to get? Yes, we are. We just got to come back into one body. You know what I'm saying? That's why we always make that statement. We are not affiliated with any Christian organization. You got fake Israelites out there. A lot of those brothers are brothers. They basically Christians who know that they Israelites. That's all they are. So we say fake Israelite groups because if it ain't UPK, it ain't home of the truth. This is the home of the truth right here. It's the brothers and sisters that's in the Nation of Islam, or you take up the Sufi or whatever, you know what I'm saying, sector of Islam you in, but you are actually an Israelite. We're not affiliated with you, and we're not affiliated with the Black Panther Party as well. We have no ties to them. They are not us. So if you see us in all black, you will not see a panther in a fist and nothing that we got on. Okay? Salaki.
Right.
They hunt our steps, Salaki. They hunt our steps. Everywhere we at in this nation, but Issachar right now, they hunting his steps. They hunting her steps right now. You Mexican brothers and sisters, you got to be you have to move very strategically right now. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have no papers or nothing like that, man, you can get with one of these brothers in here in the UPK. We get to know each other, do it the right way, we court each other, you know what I'm saying, with permission, and we will physically marry you, you know what I'm saying? Even though getting that ring and going and get the white man's piece of paper is not marriage. Sex is marriage. But, you know, we do things, you know what I'm saying? We definitely do things like that because we want our people, you know what I'm saying? We love our people, man. Just like the Most High.
They hunt our steps, Salakia. We cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled. Our end is come.
Our end is near. They hunt our steps. The white man is hunting us right now with his police department, with his ICE agents, with his Homeland Security, with his border agents, with all the federal agencies that he do. You know what I'm saying? He hunt our steps. It's hard to live in. It's hard to have a peace of mind in this place. You know what I'm saying? Because you're always up on your toes. You got to go here and there and from. You know what I'm saying?
Salaki, if I may.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Salaki, if I may, the scripture, if I may, for everyone that's online as well, and what you're saying is so heavy. I know, and I done been in some not debates, but you realize real soon who's not underneath Commander Yahanna, for us to be able to actually recognize and put together what these scriptures actually saying. You let somebody online that's pro-African, pan-African, or just looking at the colonization of this white man across the entire globe. He colonizes the entire globe, but with to show the distinct difference that it is the Negroes, that it is the Hispanics, the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, the West Indians that actually face their torment, and that we are the ones that fit the curses of the scriptures. When you sit here and convince yourself online, well, they're colonizing Africa, they're doing this to these people, they're doing this to this people, right here to show the difference in the homeland of this white man and their supreme where they sit in their throne and the supreme their supremacy right here in America. You have Africans over here, they are not hunting Africans. You
Right.
want to know the difference? They have Ethiopians or whatever the case may be of where they're colonizing across the world. If you want to know your God's chosen people and the Hispanics and the Native American Indians and the Negroes right here on the homeland where everybody is at in this mixing bowl, they sift us out. They sift out the Hispanics, they sift out the Negroes, they sift out the West Indians. You understand? They don't give us asylum. They didn't give the West Indians asylum. They made them stand on a bridge. They whipped their backs on horses. You specifically see the difference right here where all of the races of people, like this it's a heavy scripture you bring our head that they hunt our steps. Don't confuse yourself that they are hunting African steps because they're over there in Africa colonizing Africa or the
Right.
rest of the globe.
Right.
Right here they show you who's the one step they hunting because there's not African neighborhoods getting raided.
That's right.
Hispanics neighborhoods are getting raided. Salaki.
No sweat,
Right.
sir. Get it. Get my hey, yeah. That's heavy that you said that too. The water too for bringing that out, sir.
Hey, Underbar.
If Salaka, so if we can just hurry up, Salaka, we step into these bath riots right quick. Let me just do it brief. You know, like not only were they lynching our Mexican brothers and sisters, you know, on the border and throughout the West. You know what I'm saying? They also endured what they termed the bath riots. You know, it was a sister. You know, she got treated. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, paraphrasing right now because we coming up on the time. But was a sister out there in the West, you know what I'm saying, she was discriminated against. And a lot of our Mexican brothers, you know what I'm saying, coming over the border because they coming over the border and they want to come over here, you know, enjoy life, you know what I'm saying? They had to be subjected to chemical baths, you know, pesticides, cyanide, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these baths and these sprayings that they were, you know what I'm saying, subjected to is directly where Adolf Hitler got his ideas for unaliving his people in gas chambers and subjecting them to, you know, cyanide gas, and it's something called Zyklon B, you know, which, if I could right quick, Zyklon B, which releases hydrogen cyanide gas. It's rapidly fatal by binding to cytochrome, whatever that is, cytochrome C oxidase, blocking cellular respiration and ATP production. Inhalation of high concentrations causes unconsciousness and death within minutes. You know, these are things that our brothers and sisters were subjected to, you know what I'm saying, being washed down with chemicals. You know what I'm saying? You can imagine what this does to your skin. All because this white man thought that the Mexicans was coming over here with diseases. You know what I'm saying? When he caused the first biological warfare in history, you know what I'm saying, right here on this land with the Gadites, with those blankets, you know what I'm saying, smallpox disease, you know what I'm saying, like, and it was probably a number of other things as well. See, they used to disease, you know what I'm saying, because over there in Europe, they was living in filth, you know what I'm saying. We had to teach them how to even cleanse themselves, you know what I'm saying. Were they doing it? Maybe one or two of them. I'm not going to give none of them credit, you know what I'm saying. Even when they open their prisons and their insane asylums and everything else over there, just exactly what Donald Trump accuses Venezuela of. He accuses Maduro of what he did. He said he opened up all the prisons over there and all the insane asylums. Exactly what Donald Trump is saying right now is exactly what his grandfather and his people, what Europeans did over there, and they came over here with all that. You know what I'm saying? They the ones that came over here with diseases, you know what I'm saying, and mentally, you know, the white man is a natural lunatic. I mean, he is a deranged maniac, you know what I'm saying? And everybody knows this, you know. But you gotta look, if you so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, right? You gotta come out of this world, man. And I don't mean you have to physically, you gotta come out of this place right here. You don't have to physically leave the shores of America to come out of this place. When we say that, we mean stop celebrating the white man's holidays. Don't celebrate Easter, your birthday, because when you celebrate your birthday, that's like you saying that you're the Christmas tree. You know what I'm saying? You get all decorated and everybody leave presents underneath you. You know what I'm saying? No, it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? No birthdays, no Easter, no Christmas, no Thanksgiving, no July 4th, none of that garbage. No Valentine's Day, none of that. Memorial Day. Who cares, man? You know what I'm saying? Every holiday he got is a hell day for us. And we already brung out, you know what I'm saying, the history on New Year's. Our people were shivering and shaking. They didn't know whether it was going to get sold off or rented out, because some of them got rented. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't play with people. You don't just rent people, but that's the devil for you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, y'all need to get into this body right here. I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General Yahanna. We got the 57th annual Passover coming up in Houston, Texas, April 4th, man. Hey, look, this right here is for our Mexican brothers and sisters. Viva la raza. And with that, I'll pass the class on to my Ottawa officer, Bakwasha.
So, yeah. Hold on real quick. All right, security announcements. We had I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shut themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in Hebrew and it's pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you gets to the Treasury Department of Teacher, Priest Fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation is going to be Purim, Salakia, which is going to be, 1 second. Salakia, 1 second. All right, Purim. This is the 14th and 15th day of the 12th month. This is a Monday and Tuesday, the 2nd and 3rd, March 2nd, March 3rd, 2026. You can find this in Esther 9:20-31. Slaki, remind Akim Akwathim. Oh, Slaki, also we have Lord's 57th annual Passover coming up in April. April is going to be on April 4th, but we're going to have festivities starting from the 1st all the way up to the 5th. You know what I'm saying? The Passover is non-negotiable. The Lord commands us to be there. You know what I'm saying? If you have any issues getting down there, get in contact with the camp leader. The Passover fee is $200. Pay it now, pay it fast. You know what I'm saying? So you can get that about the way. Passover is, damn near tomorrow. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be right around the corner. So let's get that in there sooner than later. Remind Akim and Akwathim to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headbands, and scarf. With that, I say Amajim, which means to stand. We'll give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yajimata. Class dismissed.